Hello, today we're here to talk about the Puckipuppy Husky Plus cargo bike. This is a fat tire tricycle cargo bike designed for carrying a lot of gear such as photography equipment or hunting equipment or anything like that. It's got this nice basket in the back that you can hold a lot of gear in. This is a folding bike, as you can see. There's a joint in the middle of it, and also the handlebars fall over. Let's talk about some stats of this bike. Start with it's got a 750 watt motor. You can see down there it goes to a chain drive to the back. It has two batteries. It's got a 18 amp hour battery in the front and a 15 amp hour battery in the back, so that gives it a range of 90 to 110 miles according to the manufacturer. It's got a top speed of 25 miles per hour. The bike weighs 110 pounds with both batteries in it. They're probably about 25 pounds for the two batteries, so you're somewhere around 75 pounds without the batteries. The bike has hydraulic disc brakes at the front and back, and you can see it's got a disc brake on both rear wheels. So there's the second disc brake on this wheel. In the controls so that you don't roll away. Normally when you stop, the bike rolls, and if you're on a hill, this is a problem. So you'll notice it has this little latch in the front. If you flick down and flip up while you're doing it, you can hold the front brake in, then the bike doesn't roll, and just hit the brake to release it. The Puckipuppy Husky Plus has a cargo capacity for the rider and cargo of 500 pounds, so you can fit a lot of stuff in this bike, and with a heavier rider, and it'll still go just fine. It's got this nice cushy padded seat. You can see here it also has a suspension seat post, and it does have a front suspension fork, so it is a pretty cushy, smooth ride. So what do we like about this bike? See, the best part of this bike obviously is it's comfortable to ride, it's cushy, and it can hold a ton of weight and go really far with both batteries. Probably the longest range e-bike we've ever had. And at 100-mile range, I'm not sure where I'd want to go that's 100 miles away, 50 miles each way, but you can do it on long rides or go a week without charging it. What do we dislike about this? To start with, it's inherent with the tricycle, with just how in general it handles with cornering. This is not a zippy bike. You can rail around corners. Because you use the tricycle, the bike does not lean. So you do your steering entirely with the handlebars. That's probably the biggest thing I don't like about the bike, but for the intended purpose, which is carrying a lot of gear, that's not the point to have a fast zippy bike. It's this is more like a big Super Duty pickup truck for a bike. The second thing I dislike about the bike generally is just the weight, which goes along with everything else at 110 pounds, and the width, it will not fit on any standard bike rack, so you probably need like a pickup or a small trailer to move this thing around somewhere. This bike comes fully accessorized for riding at night or riding with gear. Again, it comes with a nice large headlight and fenders, and again fenders at the rear wheel also, and there is a tail light back underneath it. And again, it comes with this nice bag to go in the case, which is removable. It's just held on here with Velcro. You can easily take it in and out, and it's pretty wide. It's probably 2 feet wide and 1.5 feet deep, so it'll fit a fairly large amount of things or a large item in it. Let's talk about the controls and cockpit of the bike. On the right handlebar, you've got an up-down button, a power button, a dedicated button for the light that turns the lights on and off, and you've also got a nice loud horn buzzer on it. On the right handlebar, you've got a twist throttle, you've got a shifter for up and down gears, and also the brake handles. It's got a color LCD display. It's not too visible right now on the camera, but again, adjust the LCD. So two things to note with the controls is, one is that there's some slop in the handlebar joint. It's in the tube where it clamps in here, and even when it's tightened up, there's just some slop in that, and you can see the handlebar wiggle a little bit. Second thing is this switch block, as tight as it goes, is still very easy to move, and this is with the screws tightened as tight as they will tighten on the back. Probably I would put some electrical tape under there to take up the gap, and that would make it so it stays in position better. This is displayed a little bit better light for it. It's easy to read. For the most part in daylight, it just doesn't show up on the camera that well. So here's somewhere a little darker just so you can see what the information shows. Again, it's got a power meter. You can see after 22 miles, we haven't even budged the battery meter yet. So again, this thing has a gigantic, huge ton of battery in it. You get in the menu by holding the up-down button, and you can adjust a few different things like the startup mode, using that. Then again, as I mentioned earlier, it's got this emergency brake. I shouldn't say emergency brake, it's just a catch brake so that when you stop the bike on a hill, the bike won't roll on you. Just squeeze the brake in, flip this little lever and done, and then squeeze the brakes again and it comes right off. So what is the Puckipuppy Husky Plus like to ride? Let's go for a ride and find out. This makes a nice bike for kind of cruising around the lake here, not pedaling or doing any work, just kind of enjoying the view. Cruising around this bike with throttle only is kind of nice and relaxing. It's a nice cruiser bike for that point of view, and let's face it, most of the people buying this bike are probably not buying it to ride, pedaling it. They're probably buying it to throttle, given, seat back and other features of this bike. So how does the Puckipuppy Husky Plus handle? So the first thing to note about this bike is it does not handle like a normal bike. This is a tricycle. The first thing you should get used to is just how it corners, because it does not lean into corners. It does not corner quickly. It's not a sporty feeling bike that you can ride around and zip around corners. You have to slow it and steer with the handlebars everywhere you go around a corner, which gets very awkward feeling if you're not used to it. Again, this is not a bike. Basically, I would slow down for basically any corner. It's just not a fast turning bike at speed. So do not plan on, this is not a go rip around things zippy bike. It's a carry heavy cargo around, utility bike. It is not a sporty, have fun bike, put it that way. This corner is one of the things that's kind of tricky on this bike. Normally you could rip through this on a regular bike, but definitely, you can't hit this anywhere near full speed and make it around these kind of tight turns with this bike, the way it handles. So again, cornering on this bike, not its best feature, but not really the point of this bike either. So we're gonna pedal real soft with the, try out the pedal assist speeds again. This is pedal assist 1 with both batteries turned on, right around 6 miles an hour. Pedal assist 2, right around 8 miles an hour, a little under 9. I guess you could say 9. 3, right around 12 miles an hour. 4, it's right around 15, and we know 5 is right around 20. This is about 18 this time without pedaling hard. The bike's so to note, when you have both batteries turned on, the top speed is a little bit higher. It gets close to 20. We turn the second battery on with throttle only. You can see it's going up to 20.3 now, so just under 20 with both batteries turned on, with the rear battery on. And we're right around 20 again in pedal assist also. This is one of the steeper short hills in the area, this overpass. It's about a 10% grade up it, and again, I'm about a 250-pound rider. We have both batteries in the bike and turned on, so we'll see how it goes on throttle only. And it seems to be kind of powering up this hill without any problems. It's not hesitating or feeling like it's gonna slow down at all. So it seems to be able to do 10 miles an hour up this fairly steep hill with a 250-pound rider, no problem. So throw some more cargo in there, it'll slow down a bit, but it's still definitely gonna make it up steeper hills. So we're back at the hill again. We're gonna see how this goes with a little pedal assist this time. I've got it in PS4, which is where I've been riding around in about 15 miles an hour. Again, the bike seems to have no trouble kind of powering up this. This nice 90-degree corner at the top, which you have to kind of really slow down to get this bike around the corner. So one thing to note, this bike, it is a cadence sensor, and if you forget to downshift before you stop, like we're in 7th gear right now, it is very hard to pedal and get it started again. You can do it, but it is tough. So again, remember, if you don't downshift, basically use throttle to get this thing going again, because it is a cadence sensor and you've got to get the pedals a half turn or so moving before the bike will start. So we're in PS0 right now, which means no pedal assist, and I'm in the 1st gear to see how easy this thing is to pedal. And I'll say it goes not easily, but you would not want to pedal this thing any distance without the motor. I'll just put it that way. You can if you have to, but again, it's geared low, but you're going to be going probably 5 miles an hour top, and it's going to take a lot of work. So this is really, motor's really needed on this bike to go any distance at all easily. This bike has 4-inch wide knobby tires that are, it looks like an off-road bike. I would say, dirt roads are probably as much as I want to take it on, because given how this bike reacts to every single dip or anywhere the pavement's unsmooth, I wouldn't want to ride it fast. But this is about as far in the world of off-roading as I would ever want to do on this bike, which is kind of a dirt road, fire road, without too many potholes or other things that will tip the bike. This is the bike in a folded configuration, and this is how it sits when it's folded. And you can see it doesn't quite sit flat on the ground. I'm not sure this makes a whole lot of sense to fold this for much of any use, but it does. It folds, and this is what happens with it. And you can see this is how it kind of sits in the ground with the front wheel folded up kind of crooked. This bike has 2 batteries in it. One's in the front frame and one's in the back frame. It uses 2 different sets of keys. They're both removable. Just kind of pops out like this. You have to push it quite hard to get the snap back in again. And then the rear one uses a second key, which unlocks it. It's just kind of a peg in a hole system. And it slides out on the top like this, and then slides back in again to remount it. Again, they do include 2 chargers with the bike, so you can charge it on or off the bike. Actually, you can only charge the front battery pack off the bike because there is no charge port for it. You can charge the rear battery on or off the bike because the charge port's accessible either way. Let's talk a little about the assembly of the bike. It's fairly straightforward, but there are quite a few steps to it, and there's a few gotcha points where if you don't know what you're doing, you'll end up redoing it later on. The main one is with the rear fenders. That's where I had the most problems. They give you enough bolts that you can put 4 bolts in each fender. However, if you do this, you will not be able to clear the tires, so only use 2 bolts on each rear fender and put them kind of staggered so that the fender is higher up on the brackets. Then you'll have decent clearance to the tires. Also note, when you put the fender screws in, put the bolt heads towards the center of the basket. Don't put the bolt heads towards the tire. I did, and you'll find out when you go to adjust it that you can't. You have to take them out and put them back in again. Other than that, this bike is fairly easy to assemble, other than just the fact the sheer weight of it. It makes it kind of awkward to move around because it is 110 pounds. But, you know, most people will be able to handle assembling this in about an hour, hour and a half, I would say. Overall, the Puckipuppy Husky Plus makes a good bike for someone who wants to carry some serious gear around. This bike is made to haul a lot of weight. It's got a comfortable ride with a very cushy seat with a backrest, so it'll be comfortable for long rides, and you can go really long distances thanks to the dual batteries. The Puckipuppy Husky Plus is not a bike if you're looking for something fast and agile or something to zoom around on, because it is not a zippy fast bike. But if carrying gear, such as like photography or other things is your thing, then this is definitely a good bike and worth checking out. Thanks for watching. Remember to give us a thumbs up and please hit subscribe so you can get all our future updates.